So lie down as if we're starting class from the end. Close your eyes, bring your hands out alongside your hips and move around a little, shift around a little. And we're meeting here, coming from all different parts of the world, coming from different backgrounds and meeting at very different levels of yoga experience. And therefore I invite you and ask you to really just make this time yours. Do what's true for you, what works for you. If it's your very first class, simply explore and play. If it's your 10,000th class, I guess do the same. Explore and play. Use this moment to tap into your body, to tap into this moment, to simply be with what is. Fill every breath and every moment with curiosity. So now lying on our back, you've shifted around, you've moved around, your pelvis is relaxed into earth, your spine is long, your shoulder blades are wide. Close your eyes and soften your eyelids, soften your eyeballs inwards. Soften yourself into this moment, into your mat. And simply notice what is most present for you. And it might be sensations. It might be sounds. It might be a lot of thoughts, or thoughts that create maybe an anxiety, or maybe there's just pure peace and space within you. So simply notice. Pay attention, notice. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I hearing? What am I sensing? What am I smelling? Maybe tasting. And through that we move deeper and deeper into this moment, into the present moment. Becoming deeply curious. I wonder what else is present here and now. I wonder what else is part of this moment. Noticing that there is so much going on when some part in ourselves says, nothing going on. And let your body soften into earth as you slowly bring your attention, your awareness to your breath. And without doing anything about your breath, notice and witness your breath. Watch it and observe it. Notice where your breath enters your body and the sensations there, maybe around your nostrils and your lips. And then notice breath inside you, in your lungs. Become really curious. Where does it go? Where do you feel it most? What part of your body moves as you inhale and as you exhale? And how come this whole thing just does its own thing? A whole lifetime long, all by itself. Notice. Pay attention to breath. If you feel like placing your hands wherever you feel your breath, on your belly, on your chest, you can do that. You can do so. And give yourself permission to simply flow with your breath for a moment. And every time something else grabs your attention, which will happen, which does happen all the time, you gently just come back. Oh yes, oh breath. Oh yeah, wait, no, breath. Make choices every moment. Choices. There's a dimension within your mind that is you, that can control anything else that goes on. So continue to choose to come back to breath. Feel the sensations wherever you feel your breath most. notice and we watch the nature of our breath being this dance between expansion and contraction. Notice how your body expands as you inhale, and it just does it by itself. And it softens as you exhale. And we use this natural expansion and softening or contraction or whatever you want to call it. And we play with that. So I invite you to let your body flow with that, almost exaggerating this breath movement. And it might be the idea, or it might be actually your body swelling with breath and softening with exhalation. Flowing with that, letting breath breathe you, letting this moment live through you instead of holding on and contracting. And let's see if we can move even deeper into this dance, into this breath. So as you inhale, you'll notice at the end of your inhalation, there's a moment of stillness. And then the exhalation comes all by itself. And the same happens at the end of your exhalation. There's a moment of stillness where nothing happens, and then the inhalation kicks in. So see what happens bringing your attention to these gaps. And it's not a holding breath, it's just this moment of, for me it's like a moment of weightlessness, like in an aeroplane when you, and there's a moment of lift and drop. And at the end of the exhalation, it's a very similar feel, maybe more like an emptiness, a nothingness, and then inhalation rushes in. And fill each of these moments and every bit of breath with curiosity. Noticing every time your mind starts wandering, you come back with a lot of loving kindness. Never saying, no, I lost focus again, but simply coming back. Maybe even saying thank you mind for looking after me, and then choose to come back. And notice what arises for you as we pay attention to breath. Old stories, old memories might arise. And they're not arising for you to solve them or think them through. Think of them as the bubbles in mineral water. It just comes up. It's old stuff. Comes up. Let it come up and let it go. Let it come and let it go. Let it come and let it go. We make space. We make space for this moment. We make space to be here now as we let things come and we let things go. And from here, I welcome you to take this depth and this stillness, this space, this focus into your practice. So how could we, as we start to move, stay as present, as conscious with these subtle dimensions of our being, these subtle dimensions of breath? So start to move. Let your body find its own way of moving. When I do so, I usually start with my hips. I roll my hips. I start from within, but maybe for you it feels right to start from the outside, inwards. So moving hips and moving shoulders. I invite you to roll your head side to side while you stay connected to This really conscious, spacious breath. Rolling head, make one leg at a time long, the other short. Stretch. How about we reach our arms up and over? Stretch them up and over. Reach into fingertips. Spread your palms as wide and big as you can, as if they were lights sitting in your palm. Reach and stretch and open up. Deep sense of curiosity. And then bring your right knee into chest. Just hug it in. Use your hands, hug it in. Bring your chin to chest, your forehead to knee. Have a look. Peek at your left foot. It's as if you were standing. The thigh, the knee pushing into it. And we squeeze up. We round up. And then we rest ourselves down. Reach our arms up and over again. Right foot stretches out. Stretch again. And left knee comes in. Right foot as if you were standing on it. Hands onto left knee. And round yourself up to knee. Knee to chest. Forehead to knee. And straighten out left leg. Reach your arms up and over. Now both knees come in. Hands come onto knees. Sway them left and right. Side to side. And then knees into chest. Maybe you wrap your arms around knees. Bring your chin to chest. Squeeze, contract. Exhale yourself. Empty, 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 empty. Feel that moment of stillness and inhale to stretch it out. Reach it out. Stretch and expand. Another inhalation here. As you exhale, you move into your contraction and you squeeze. Make yourself as small as you can. And with your next inhalation, make yourself as big as you can. If you want to spread your arms outwards, legs outwards, do so. One more time. Inhale to reach a little further, become a little bigger. And exhale, knees into chest. Round your lower back into spine. Squeeze, tiny, tiny little. On your next inhalation, stretch it up, reach it up. Beautiful. Now, knees come up to chest. We'll grab our thighs just behind our knees and let's start rolling up and down a few times. So, noticing, for some of us, it might be really difficult. You might, why does my spine not roll? Maybe you just roll. Maybe it's a tiny little movement, or maybe today it's easy for you to really round your spine. Notice what is. Notice how your attention might shift. Come back to the depth of this moment. And then we'll sit, feet come onto mat, a little wider than hip wide, the knees pointing up. We point our tailbone to heel, so your pelvis is going to tilt forwards, backwards, I don't know, navel inwards, tailbone away, and round yourself down onto mat. Your feet stay on earth, ground your lower back, feel the tips of your shoulder blades touch the mat, and then see if you can come back up. And if you need to grab your thighs, or imagine your best friend holding your hands, helping you up, that's great. And then again, pointing tailbone away, so lots of length in the back body, rolling down. This time the thumbs dip onto mat above our head. Inhale here to stretch out, make yourself bigger than you've ever been. And exhale to come forwards. Continue to breathe as you roll yourself up, all the way onto sit bones. As if you're hugging the world, as if your heart is too big to be contained here. You hold it and you roll it back down. Arms up and over, reach and stretch. And exhale, coming up, balancing out, finding our sit bones. Now, lift onto sit bones and then round to tailbone. Onto sit bones, round to tailbone. Just that, just a little movement. Sit bones, tailbone. Find the in-between. And see if you can lift the feet up. And the hands might need to help the thighs, and that's okay. They might be able to stay here. Lift the knees up to chest. Lift the heart up to ceiling. And now we remember our breath. So inhale is expansive. There's maybe a little pause. Exhale is a contraction. Maybe a little pause. Reaching and expanding. We cross our legs. Come to sit. Roll onto the front sit bone. So your pelvis now tilts forwards. Fold yourself forwards. Let your spine flow forwards. Let your head drop.
Let your shoulder blades slide apart. Let your knees soften apart. Use your breath. Notice we're never really ever still. There's always movement. Softening forwards, opening forwards. Chin to chest, round yourself up to sit. Roll your shoulders a few times. So much tension, we hold around our shoulders. Shift your head side to side. Soften your neck, your ears, your throat. Maybe rolling chin up to ceiling and down. Make space. And then we bring our hands down onto mat, fingers spreading wide, pointing in the direction of our feet. Our feet come flat onto mat. And we'll lift our hips to hover, gently circling around our wrists. We want to stretch our fingers, stretch our wrists, move. See if you can roll your shoulders back and away, slide your shoulder blades down. And you might be able to lift the hips a little higher, maybe a little higher. You might feel like lifting your head back. So taking the stretch deeper into front shoulders, strong in your glutes, opening up. And then chin to chest, slowly lower your hips. Bring your sit bones onto mat. Bring your arms forwards. Notice the sensations in your hands. So we move from lots of weight into space. And we roll it down one more time. And print your entire spine into mat. Keep your lower back on mat. Stretch it up and over. Inhale. And then coming forward. Rolling up in your own pace with your own breath. Find the space between sit bones and tailbone. So a deep sense of lengthening. And then maybe the feet can lift. We might need to hold them. We might be able to bring them a little closer. Can we glue our lower ribs onto thighs? And can we maybe lift our toes up to ceiling? And maybe the hands. And be where you're at. Keep connecting with your breath. There is no wrong or right, no good or bad. And one more inhale. Exhale to soften. Cross your legs the unfamiliar way. So whichever way you didn't cross your legs earlier, drop your knees apart, folding forward, let your spine soften. Notice the sensations. There might be a stretch in the hips and the glutes. Every inhale you expand, with every exhale you soften. Releasing into gravity, letting go of all that doesn't serve you this moment. Rolling out, hands come back, hands onto mat, feet come flat. Conscious in how you ground your feet, how you ground your hand, lifting hips, circling around wrists, noticing this already different to what it was the first time. Maybe this round we feel like lifting our hips. Slide your shoulder blades down and away. Open your chest, open your heart, maybe throat. Just go a little deeper. Whatever is tight and tense, guide breath there. Patience, loving kindness, coming back down. We cross our legs to roll over our feet onto hands and knees. If that doesn't work for you, find your own perfect way to come onto hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, spreading fingers wide, knees under hips. Have a look, the feet parallel. Sometimes they do wicked, weird little things. Notice. And then as we inhale, we arch. We lift throat and heart forwards and up. Draw your hands and knees gently towards one another. Lift your sit bones. And on your next exhalation, you round it out. You press your knees and hands into mat. You widen your shoulder blades apart. Tap your elbows into hips. Point them to back corners of your mat. And inhale to arch. And exhale to round. And so for me, I really love the ocean when I do this. Keep going in your own pace. Flow with your breath. When I do this, I think of waves. I think of, when you go surfing and you dive through a wave. I think of that, and I let the movement flow through me. So it's not the mind that generates this. Let it be. And if you notice there's a tender spot underneath one of your shoulder blades, maybe you circle a bit, or maybe you start rolling your hips and your shoulders left and right as you move. This might not look like much, but it's such a powerful, powerful little flow to make space into hip joints and shoulder joints, and actually to notice and acknowledge spine and tension we might be holding around it. Make your shoulder blades slide around on your back ribs, really making space. And then let's find our neutral spine alignment. So navel up and in, there's a deep connection between front hip bones and lower ribs, and the same in the back. Same distance here all around. Your elbows pointing to back corners, and then straighten out your right leg. Keep your toes tucked and just gently shift forwards and back. So on your toes, stretching the back of the leg and keep looking forwards. It's tempting to have the head hang. Our heads are flipping heavy. So look forwards, make it conscious, and then lift your right leg up. Point your toes and just stretch a bit. See if you can lift your left hand in line with the right leg and stretch a little deeper. The image that comes up for me is Superman. So stretch into that. Keep looking forward. Stretch. Relax your right shoulder. Inhale here. Exhale, knee and elbow comes in. Lift up, lift, shin and foot and knee and elbow. And inhale to reach it out. It's a bit like doing cat and cow on hand and knee. Inhale here. Exhale, rounding it out. Lifting foot, lifting knee. Inhale, stretching it out. And one more time. Exhale, knee to hip, knee to chest, elbow to hip. And inhale up. Left hand comes back down onto mat. Shift your weight back towards the right leg and then flex your foot. So see if you can press your foot into ceiling and notice what might happen in your shoulders. And if there is more space, left hand comes around. It might find the right foot. As you press your foot into hand, let your shoulder blades slide downwards. Open your heart forwards. Lift and open. Balance yourself out between left knee and right hand. And whenever things get really, really tight, breathe. Breathe space into it. Remember that everything in life comes and goes. And let go. Reach. And exhale, hand and knee onto mat. A couple of cat and cow, so arching and rounding, flowing with your breath, resetting. Finding our neutral spine, tucking left toes under, stretching left leg out, shifting forwards and back. Have a look at your hands. Can you maybe spread your fingers a little wider? See your wrists parallel. Middle fingers are probably pointing to corners of your mat. And then lifting leg, pointing toes. Left hand grounds, right arm reaches. Keep yourself long, balance yourself out. Wiggle your right toes, those on the mat. Can you feel the mat under your toes? Can you relax into that? And inhale here, looking forward, stretch. Exhale to round. Lifting knee, lifting foot, lifting shin. Inhale to reach. And exhale to round. Let's do one more. Inhale, reaching out, stretching, opening. And exhale to round it up. Lift your navel, hollow out until it burns in here. And stretch it out. And hand comes down. Balance yourself out. Shift weight to left side. Flex your foot, lift your foot. Maybe there is space for the right hand to come around. And grab the foot in your own perfect way. Let your right shoulder roll back. Let your chest open wide. Lift the knee, press mat away, and breathe. Reach and breathe. And reach and breathe. And reach it forwards. And exhale, hand and knee down. We tuck our toes, we lift our knees. Find our hands pushing forwards. So our sit bones reach backwards. And then the heels melt down to mat. Have a look at your feet as you lift and lower your heels. Lift your toes and spread them out. Drop them back down onto mat. Have gaps between the toes. Your feet hip wide, and then look at your hands. As you stride your hands further forwards, you reach your sit bones even further back. Opening into the back legs. Draw your kneecaps up. Wherever it's tense and tight, stay there for a moment. Remember your breath. Breathing into it. Every inhalation is an expansion. Every exhalation is that softening. Letting go of resistance. We let go of each moment to make space for each new moment to come. And sometimes that is really easy, and sometimes that feels like an impossible thing to do. And notice that all that belongs. From here, we walk our hands to feet. Now find your feet hip wide. Bring your hands onto shins and then onto kneecaps. Just gently resting, hands onto knees. Roll your shoulders back, lift your heart forwards and up. Poke your bum out, stick it up. So if you want to maybe grab and lift the sit bones, no one watching. Lift a little higher so your pelvis is tilting forwards. Hands onto knees, your shoulders roll back, your elbows tuck in. Inhale here. Lifting collarbones, lifting chin. And with our next exhalation, we'll just flop forwards. We'll fold forwards. Start with your knees bent and your sit bones reaching up. Shifting weight from foot to foot, from front to back. Balancing yourself out. And then we'll slide our hands up our feet, onto shins, onto kneecaps. One more time, gently resting, rolling shoulders back, lifting heart, lifting sit bones, knees hip wide. Experience yourself here. And then as you exhale, you fold again. Let your head hang, your arms hang. Maybe you can push your feet a little deeper into mat and move towards straightening the legs. But I invite you to keep tummy and ribs towards thighs or on thighs. And one more. Knees bent, hands slide up onto kneecaps. As if we're sitting here, we roll our shoulders back, we lift our heart, we lift our sit bones, grounding strongly through our feet, toes spread wide. And exhale, folding it one more time. Oh, let your breath flow through your spine. Let your head hang, maybe shaking head no and nodding head yes. Be fully in it. Go deep into it. Maybe you can ground the crown of your head onto your toes. Who knows? Be limitless. And this time we'll bend our knees, point your tailbone down towards your heels, and then round yourself up to stand. Rounding through your spine. Coming up, rolling your shoulders back and away. As if you're coming out of an egg and you're unfolding yourself into this world. Unfolding your wings, opening up. Have a look, your feet at the end of your mat, hip wide, toes spreading wide. Stand to your tallest you for a moment. Good. Hands come down alongside the thighs. Just striving down. So your hands strive down while you strive upwards through your center. And we can connect that with breath. So inhaling through your inner ankles, inner thighs, inner legs, up into crown. And then as you exhale, you soften through your periphery, the shoulders, the ribs, the shoulder blades. And let's lift one arm up, whichever arm you want to start with. Strive it up. Inhale to reach it tall. Exhale to slide the shoulder blade down. Just keep it there, just sliding down. And then hand reaches over, the bottom hand strives down to earth, and the top arm reaches up and over. Your hips shift over the opposite direction. Beautiful. Keep your body stacked, so hips and chest still parallel to front mat. And let's come up. Hand comes down, strives down to earth, opposite hand comes up. Inhale here, make yourself long. Exhale, keep that length and just slide your shoulder blade down. And then right hand reaches down to earth, hips over to the opposite side. Rolling your top shoulder back, keep stacking your body. Explore. Explore through your breath. Really present. up, the right hand rises up in line with left. We drop our shoulders down, slide them down. One more time, the other direction. Hand wants to meet feet, other hand wants to reach up and over, and see if you can go a little further. A little further. You're welcome to gently shift and move in your body. How could I possibly make more space? And center, arms up. Inhale to reach, come onto toes. All the way onto toes, reach up tall. And exhale, heels down, shoulders down. Very important, melt your shoulders down. We don't need to hold on to them. Hand comes down, hand strives down, other direction. Fill every moment and every movement with breath. Go deep and explore, maybe rolling shoulder forwards and back. And center, arms up above the head, exhale your shoulders down. And we sit down into Utkatasana. So your sit bones reach back, and the knees bend. The hands cup the knees. Gently shift your knees a little further back. Beautiful. Inhale here, lift your heart. Exhale, fold yourself forwards. Let yourself hang. Strive your sit bones up high. Feel the big toe base ground, the pinky toe base ground. And then we look forwards and we find our plank. Your hands shoulder wide, align them consciously. Your heels above toes. And knees are totally welcome to help if they need to. Otherwise, knees lifted. Point your tailbone to heels. Lift your navel up and in. Push mat away. It's not collapsing, not hanging bridge, but reaching. Look forward. Lift your head into the space behind. Ground into index finger base. And now if your mind goes, oh, this is hard, this is hard, this is hard. See if you can change the narrative, and instead of thinking that this is really difficult, just be with your breath. See if you can say to yourself, oh, I love this. I love this. This is how I became a runner. Every time I ran, I would say, I love running. I love running. I love running. And then it took a while, but now I love running. And I did not for a long time. And I'm telling you this story so that you can stay here and be with this. Not resist it, not fight it, not contracting in your jaws, but just breathe in it. Imagine you're hanging on your sofa, the most comfortable place in the world. And let's do another big inhale and exhale into down dog. Maybe shaking head no or nodding head yes. Let your armpits drop to earth. Let your sit bones rise up high. Find your left foot grounding. We'll rise our right leg up. Heel comes up. As if you're pressing your heel into ceiling. At the same time, left heel melts down into earth. And see if you're holding tension around your shoulders, compromising. Soften here. Take your gaze down towards mat or maybe forwards, helping us to open our heart a little more. And right foot down. And anytime, you're welcome to take breaks. You're welcome to pause and adjust. Let's lift our left leg up. As much as this is a challenging practice, it's about you nurturing and nourishing you. So we nurture ourselves by pushing our boundaries, but also by acknowledging when it's a bit much, when we need a break. Left foot down, right leg rises. Consciously feel how your feet swap, how weight swaps. See if you can drop your left heel a little lower, maybe rising right heel a little higher, using your breath, and right leg comes down. And left leg rises. Same here, left heel high, right heel low. Off, open and soften. And this time we come forwards, draw our left knee into chest. Drawing it into chest, lift your navel, hollow out your tummy, make lots of space. How far can you push the mat away from you, And then see if you can step your foot into space between hands. If it doesn't land all the way there, use your hands to help. Let's bring our right knee down for a moment, point our right toes back, and I invite you to simply move around. Just move. Explore your range of movement. So you might want to shift your hips back and straighten front leg, or sink a little deeper into hips. Sway left and right and take a moment, stay where it's challenging and difficult. Feel and sway and move. And then we'll meet again with our left knee above our heel. We'll stack our left hand onto our left knee. Good. We slide our shoulder blades down, lift our heart. See if we can lift our back foot. But it doesn't have to happen at all. Just be where you're at. If your foot's on the mat, and that's fine. And if there is space, maybe the top arm comes up. It might even come down and find the foot, but it doesn't have to. Sink deeper into hips. Lift your navel. Don't worry about the foot. No need to grab it. And let's unfold again. Hand comes onto mat. The back toes, the right toes tuck under. The fingers make these domes in line with heel. Make sure you've got a strong foundation as you lift yourself up into lunge warrior. Beautiful. Your own perfect way. Inhale here, rising, reaching. Stretch out both legs, straighten them out. Lift your back heel high. If you can, maybe even lifting front heel. Be as tall as you can be. And as you exhale, you soften deeper into legs. Maybe even bending back leg and having the knee touch the mat for a moment. Keep drawing your navel in. Keep pointing tailbone forward. And coming back up. Exhale your hands through the sides onto hips. Just to check which direction are the hips pointing. Roll your right hip forward. Roll your left hip back. Keep that as you inhale your arms up and away. Inhale to lift a little taller. Exhale, sliding shoulder blades down. Can we maybe lower the back knee one more time? Reaching it back. And coming up. Shift yourself forwards, hinge forwards. Bring your hands to your knees, so bracketing your knee with your hands. Find your left foot. Just balancing on your left foot. Need to step back a bit. And then the leg lift. Can we maybe rest our chest onto thigh and lift the leg a little higher, keeping hips parallel to earth. Maybe that. Step it back into lunge warrior. Land it. Rise your arms up. Be playful this. I know your legs are shouting, right? My legs are too. Hinging forward, reach. Grab the knee, hold it. Stroke it. Remember what's spacious in you. Coming on to left foot. This might be enough, or maybe here. Or maybe the fingers slide down to earth as you lift the right leg a little bit higher in your own pace, in your own perfect way. Bending left knee, hands onto knee. Stepping foot back, lunge warrior. Saying thank you internally. And exhale, hands down onto mat. Make your hands ground, let your hands be feet. And then shift your left leg back into three-legged downward facing dog. And the leg comes down onto earth. Be in your down dog for a moment. If this does not work for you as a resetting pose at all, you're welcome to be on hands and knees. Or child's pose with your sit bones on your heels and your forehead on your mat. So this practice is yours. Make it yours. Own it. Own every moment and every breath of it. And we meet again in down dog. We lift our right leg up, reaching it up, lifting it up, looking forwards. We know where it's going to land. We shift. So we come into plank pose, lift our right knee into chest, create as much lift, as much space between mat and your body, and then find your foot between your hands. And your hands are totally allowed to help. Make sure your knee is above the heel. Bring your left knee down. Point your left toes back. Be light in your fingers and heavy in your hips. And sway and move. Move into those directions that feel impossible. Do movements that your mind can't think of. Find space. Move and sway. Open hips. Make space. Explore. Remembering your breath. Remember to continuously let go, let come. And then knee above heel. Fingers light. Oh no, let's keep left hand flat on the mat. Right hand onto knee. We twist first. So hips open, chest rises. This might be absolutely enough. Or maybe the top arm reaches up and back, opening heart. Might be enough. Maybe the back toes can point up. And before you rush on, just be here. Feel into it. Maybe the hand finds the foot and you feel into this. You might even want to explore and see what it feels like to lift the top hand, the front hand up, and sit a little deeper into it. Remember your breath. Every inhale you become more spacious. With every exhale you hold that spaciousness and soften into it. Okay, hand down, foot down, the toes tuck under, right hand to outer right heel, left knee lifts, find your feet and rise it up. Lunge warrior. Sure. Now, this is wobbly already. I don't know about you. My legs are wobbling. Knee above heel. Soften shoulders. Rise tall. So straighten both legs. Lift your back heel as high as you can. If you can, lift your front heel too. You're welcome to. But the shoulders not lifting. Lengthen through your center and soften through your periphery. We sit back down, deep into it. Maybe we can make our back knee dip onto mat for a moment. Breathe. Coming up. Hands come through the sides onto hips. Just to check. Right hip back, left hip forwards. Align yourself. Arms come back up. Soften the shoulders. Maybe we can dip it one more time. Beautiful. Coming up. Hands bracket the right knee. Let this help you find stability. And then find your right foot. Lift your left leg. And just that. Notice how your right foot balances and wobbles and compensates. Step it back with a sense of joyfulness, sense of celebration, reaching up. And then coming forwards again. Hand onto knee. If this is enough, stay here. If you can come forwards, lengthen. Maybe we bend our knee. Can we rest our chest, our thigh onto knee? And for some of us, the fingers might come down as the left leg rises up. Notice how there might be a big difference between the two legs. Open yourself out. Be curious. And then stepping it back, lunge warrior. Rising up. Trust your feet. Trust the earth, trust your breath. Inhale here, exhale, hands down. Let them meet mat intimately. Spread your fingers, reach your foot back. Three-legged downward facing dog, beautiful. Exhale, leg down. Walking our hands to feet. Sliding hands up the feet, up the shins, onto knees. Elbows tucking in, lift your sit bones, lift your heart. And exhale to fold it forwards. Softness, let your head hang, let your shoulders hang, sway from foot to foot. Notice how it feels different now, how everything continuously evolves and changes. And then pointing tailbone down and forwards, roll yourself up to stand and roll your shoulders back a few times. Soften them down, maybe shaking them out, lift them up and exhale them down. Keep your feet deeply grounded. Initiated from the pelvis, we start twisting left and right. Just that. And then let your arms hang and let your arms smack you. So one hand's probably smacking the kidney area, the other one. And then as you twist, add your head. Look as far behind you as you can. As far behind you as you can. Beautiful. And we slow it down, and we take our time to come back to stillness, just witnessing this movement still flowing through you until you come to center. We'll lift our arms up above our head and exhale our shoulder blades down. Find space into chest. Lots of strength through your navel so your lower back can be long. And then sit that back into Utkatasana as if there was a chair behind you. We slide our hands past our hips, back and away, interlock our fingers, reach our shoulders back, lift our heart, lift and lengthen. Beautiful. Check your feet hip wide. Maybe the toes are holding on. Check your knees to hip wide. Lift your heart again. And exhale, folding from the hips forwards. Maybe you can gently lift your hands away from tailbone, or they might need to rest there. Maybe the arms can actually come up and over. Gentle movement in the neck, shaking head no, nodding head yes. Gentle lift through the back legs, wiggle your toes. Find lightness in very challenging poses. Find your breath again. Find that dance, that inner dance. And then bending knees, hands come apart, past the hips, past the legs, up in line with ears. Inhale here, exhale, folding forwards. We walk our hands to the front of our mat, finding our plank. Finding plank, noticing hands on earth, hands on mat. Beautiful. Bringing right knee onto mat, pointing right toes back. And wiggle your toes, make sure all toes are on the mat, grounded. And then rolling your left heel down, you roll your left hip back. So you find yourself on your right knee, on your right hand. Good. Use your left hand to lift your your bottom waistline up, up, up. Good. And then arm up and leg up, up. Yes, beautiful. And flexing the top foot. Can we bring the leg forwards in line with hip? Bring it forwards, bring it forwards. And relax the shoulders and then point your toes, bring the leg back. And we're not grinding teeth, we're still breathing. Flex the foot again, one more time. Foot forwards. Beautiful. Point the toes, bring it back. Relax your shoulders. And hand and knee onto mat. Swapping sides. Okay? So I'll turn around, you don't have to see my backside. So left toes point back, you're on your left hand, left knee, the top of your left foot is nicely grounded. You stack your right hip above the left, rolling right hip back, maybe lifting left torso a little taller, a little higher, and then stretch it out. Keeping this side nice and long. Beautiful. Keep your left hand light, so maybe you can even have your bottom hand hover over the mat, or just the idea. There's not much weight in the hand. Flex your foot, bring your foot forward. What does that feel like? What does the body say? And point your toes, bring the leg back. Flex the foot, bring the leg forwards. Smile, breathe, point the foot, bring the leg back. Beautiful. And hands and knees. Well done. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, down dog, reach it back, soften it back, lengthen it back. Bend your knees, look forwards, find your feet landing between your hands this round. Hip wide apart, inhale to lift halfway up, exhale to fold deep into your forward fold. If you like, your peace fingers may grab your big toes. If available to you, you can slide your hands under your feet, grounding into hands. And again, we inhale to make space, whatever that means for you. Lifting heart, lengthen spine, lengthen legs. And as you exhale, you go deeper into this forward fold. Folding your body in half from the hip joints. Relax your shoulders, soften your neck. Another deep inhale here. Another deep exhale to surrender even further. And then release the hands wherever they're at. Bend your knees and round yourself up to stand. Rolling our shoulders back and away. Soften shoulders down. Standing strong on your feet. Let's lift our right knee up. Just notice what that feels like.
Notice if the shoulders lift up with, relax them down. And what often happens is we kind of shrink into the standing leg. Can you stand tall? Imagine your right foot was standing on a box of air. So stand tall, 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 tall. Beautiful. Can you feel how that activates your deep core muscles? Just the intention of being tall. And then grabbing the foot, placing it to inner thigh. And then opening hip and knee apart. Checking into hips, they are in alignment with the front of your mat. Your shoulders are in alignment. You're opening wide. Let's have our elbows into hips and then palms facing up as if you're holding, I don't know, 2 plates of food. And then have the intention of bringing thumbs together behind you. So your chest is going to lift and open, but keep your navel in. Keep your lower ribs dropping down and inwards, really strong through your center. Remember to be tall. With your next inhale, grow a little taller. Notice what that changes. We bring our arms upwards, and maybe hands stay apart and you're here. Or maybe the hands come together. You might interlock and point your index fingers up. Slide your shoulder blades down, reach your arms back. If you like, take a gaze up to sky, as if you're a rocket. How tall can you be? Tune into your left foot. Are the toes holding on? Trust. How tall can you be? Coming to center, keep your left arm lifted and the bent knee side, the hand comes down. This might be enough. Or you might slide a little deeper over. Sliding a little deeper. In your own perfect range of movement. Be playful here. Strong navel, let the rest unfold. And we'll come up. Hands draw down to heart. We stack our hands onto heart. Feel our heartbeat underneath. Lift our knee forwards. And step our foot down. And then just gently shifting and releasing the hips if that's sore, or shaking out the legs. Sometimes it's quite nice to tuck the toes under and just stretch out the little muscles in the feet. If we're not so used to being barefoot, they can take a bit of strain with all this balancing. And then we stand again, our tallest, most magnificent selves, standing as if you're on a stage, speaking to millions. Lifting the knee. The opposite knee, yes, good. And then rest it onto that imaginary box. And notice whether you're shrinking into your standing leg or if you could lift out of it. Lifting tall. You want your crown to touch the ceiling. Beautiful. And then let's bring our foot to inner thigh. Place it there. If that's too much, it can always be the shin. It can always be the ankle. Beautiful. Stunning. Hands come out to the sides. Elbows draw into chest. Feel your collarbones expand as you reach your thumbs backwards, as if you could make them touch. Draw your lower ribs in. Lift your navel and pubic bone up. Grow a little taller. Make your right foot light. You can even try and balance on your right toes as you're here. That's how light you are. Awesome. Hands come up. Shoulders slide down. This might be enough. Or hands come together. Interlock, maybe the unfamiliar way this time. And then hands slide back. Your heart and gaze lifts up. Remembering your breath. Noticing and witnessing. You might want to stay here, or maybe the bent knee hand comes down as you lean into a side bend. Very playful. No wrong, no right. Just explore, feel, sense. Let this moment be, whatever it is. Coming back to center. Hands come down to heart. We lift our knee up and we step it down. Beautiful. We step our feet wide apart. Wide apart. Hands onto hips and gently sway the hips or roll the hips. Roll them forwards, roll them back. Check your feet, the outside edge is parallel.
And then hands on hips, we tilt our pelvis forwards. Forwards, forwards. Can you bring your spine to be parallel with the mat? And now arms maybe out to the side. If that's too much, hands can stay on hips. All right. Check into your feet. You're probably pushing your hips back. Can you shift your hips forward so the weight is in the fronts of your feet? Beautiful. Lengthen. Breathe into it. Breathe yourself long and wide and spacious. Another inhale here. As we exhale, we fold. We fold forwards. We keep lifting through the sit bones. We let our head drop, our torso drop. Maybe swaying left and right. You might even want to bend one knee at a time and just gently slide side to side. And then find your center. Have your hands, make these cups in line with your eyes on the mat. And then shift your right hand right underneath your nose and left hand rises up. And if you want to rather have your right hand flat, you can do that. Left hand rises up. Looking at left hand, align your left arm with your collarbone. So not throwing the arm back, but twisting your spine, opening left ribs. And left hand comes down. Place it where right hand was. And right hand rises up. Exploring our range of movement. Check your weight again. It's in the fronts of your feet. The sit bones rising, lifting up. Another inhale here. Exhale, right hand down. We'll go one more time onto the other side. Open up wide. Keep pointing your knees away from one another. Open your heart wide. Lift your navel. Use your breath. And hand comes down. And right hand rises one more time up to the sky. Lengthening out. Open your heart, widen your collarbones. Right hand down. Inhale to lift forward. And exhale to fold into forward fold. Slide your hands back so you move them. Your toes pointing forwards, your fingers pointing back. Let's see if you can lift your sit bones a little bit higher. Bringing hands forwards again, lifting gaze. We heel toe our feet towards one another. And come to squat. Beautiful. So, as I promised, for those who don't have so much time, this is about an hour. And from here, you're welcome to move into your own space or move into your Shavasana. And then I thank you all for having joined, but if you do have that little bit of extra time, please stay and flow with us into our Shavasana from here. We'll slowly make our way there, and I'll guide you into a beautiful, deep meditation. So if you do have time, please stay. It will be beautiful. So in our squat, let's have our right shoulder, bring it to inner knee, and then fingers onto mat. Okay, as far outwards as you can. So you want to open your hip here. And then left hand comes to left knee. And we'll just gently press the knee outwards. And the right knee is anchored here with the shoulder. And you open and you twist. And notice if there's resistance. So for me, it feels very uncomfortable to open up like that. So my legs want to squeeze. They want to hold in tight. So I have to really soften and reach into it. Have the intention of lifting the inner ankles and then open your chest, open your heart. It feels very vulnerable. So be with that. Allow it to be there. And coming back to center, left shoulder to inner knee, anchor your hand out there. As far out as you can, right hand to knee, open the knees, lean into yourself, open your hips. Notice where there's resistance, where it's not the physical, but the mind resisting. And open up. And coming back to center. Hands come forward. Fingers spread wide. And we'll just bounce forwards and back a few times. Shifting weight from hands to feet. And feet to hands. Coming forwards and up. So maybe you can see better if I do it this way. And then eventually maybe the knees land on your elbows or on in your armpits. And play around. So I love doing this dynamically because it gives us the opportunity to not think too much about it. Be in it, move through it, gaze down at mat. Let your gaze be a powerful pillar to ground yourself here. So if this is comfortable for you, be here. Just be here and stay here. Woo! Let's do one more. Give your all and everything. Bring out your fiercest, most courageous you. Amazing. And step it down into squat. And we'll come to sit. We'll stretch our legs forwards for a moment. Just release them. Maybe gently massaging the hip flexors up into groins, down towards the knees, towards the feet. And we'll move our sit bones to heels. So we have mat behind us. The feet ground into earth and you tilt your pelvis to roll your spine down onto mat. From here, the hands come onto mat in line with hips, palms facing down. Rest your head down. Roll your shoulders onto mat, your outer shoulders, and then bring your feet a little closer so that you can feel your heels. Good. We lift our spine up, starting from the tailbone. So pressing your sacrum into mat until your tailbone lifts. Press your lower back into mat until your sacrum lifts. And then peel yourself up one vertebra at a time. Turn your palms up. Let your collarbones widen. Gently tuck your shoulder blades under. So no weight in your spine. You're held by head and shoulders. Lift your hips up high. Have a look down. Drop your lower ribs into body. Drop your navel into body. Lift from the groins and from the thighs. Squeeze your glutes. Extend your knees. And just enjoy being here. Wiggle your toes. Remembering your breath. Letting come, letting go. Make space. Curiosity. And then roll your spine back down onto earth. One vertebra at a time. One at a time, one at a time, really conscious until your sacrum is on the mat. And you might reset by being still here. For some, I know it's quite nice to just sway the knees left and right. Listen to your body. We meet with our knees above our heels again. Our hands in line with hips. The tailbone lifts, the sacrum grounds. The lower back grounds, the sacrum lifts, peel yourself off. And then maybe you can bring your hands together underneath. So as you slide your shoulder blades towards one another, taking the spine away from mat, you might interlock your hands and press your pinky fingers into mat. And check again, the lower ribs dropping inwards, the navel dropping inwards, the top thighs are lifting. Gently pressing pinky fingers to lift a little more. Press your back head into mat. Reach your knees forwards. And just enjoy, be here. Another inhale and exhale yourself down. One vertebra at a time. And again, resetting by being still. By simply feeling your sacrum ground. Or maybe you need to move the knees. And we'll come up one more time. If full wheel pose is part of your practice, welcome to go there, hands alongside the ears. And the rest of us will peel our spine off again. Tailbone, sacrum, lower back, shoulder blades. You're on your shoulders. You tuck your shoulder blades under, so your neck is not on the mat. And you have a lot of space. Maybe you interlock the hands again. Another way might be to walk your feet a little closer and grab your ankles. And drop your navel inwards. Make sure you're not sticking your belly out. Point your tailbone up. Lift your hips. If you like, you can play around lifting a leg and lifting the other leg. Notice what that feels like. Going a little deeper. And release yourself back down. finding your mat. And now with the feet staying as they are, we all drop our knees over to the right. Just let them be there. Let them soften into gravity. Keep your chest open, your palms facing up. Let your hips soften. Another inhale here and another exhale to soften deeper. Bring your knees back to center and we'll just drop them over to the left. And again, we'll stay here, fully surrendering to gravity. Not holding on to anything. We let life come and we let life go. Continuously open up to the new present moment to make sure we don't miss out. And then bring your knees back to center. Your pelvis wide, your lower back wide. Bring your hands onto knees. Shift your knees left and right. Massaging your lower back. Beautiful. Stretch your legs up to ceiling. If this is a bit challenging, maybe you have a wall close to you can lean your heels into. Alternatively, you can have your hands under your glutes. And then if you want, if you like, you can even take it further. You can gently lift your knees onto your forehead. Or you might dip your feet onto mat above your head. I invite you to wiggle your shoulder blades under and really just go as far as it works for you. If you're not so sure and if it doesn't work, take a step back. And if shoulder stand is part of your practice, or if today you feel like venturing there, then bending elbows, hands to lower back, and the legs lift up. So lots of weight in the back of your head, in your elbows, in your shoulder blades. Spine is light. Beautiful. Imagine you could stand on the ceiling. So feel yourself strive upwards. Instead of feeling heavy and sinking into head and shoulders, your feet are striving up. You're becoming light. Make yourself long just through intention. Dip your knees onto forehead or your feet onto mat. Stretch it out one more time in plow pose. Soften your back ribs. Release your hands and roll your hips down onto mat. So for those who stayed here, we meet again. Hands on the glutes for all of us. We lower our legs down onto mat all the way. Take your time. Feel your center strong. Your heels come onto mat, your toes point away. Hug your elbows into chest and then push them into mat. So you'll find yourself sitting on your hands and elbows in the mat and rolling shoulders back. Open your throat. Have your head rest on the mat. Just gently touching the crown. Your throat wide and open, your collarbones wide and open. Inhale here. Exhale, chin to chest. Release yourself down onto mat. Soften yourself out. Draw your knees up to chest. Right hand onto right knee. Left hand onto left knee. Swaying side to side. We keep our left knee into chest and stretch our right leg out. We have a look. Your leg is nice and long, parallel your foot as if you were standing on it. Release your chest back down. Right hand grabs the outer left knee and then we draw the knee over to the right. Drawing the knee towards the mat. Turn your gaze and your attention towards your left hand, reaching into left hand. And again, a big aspect of these twists is to let them happen. Let your body soften. Let yourself surrender into this twist. No forcing, no straining, just softening into gravity, using every inhale to gently expand, feeling the stillness between inhale and exhale, exhale and inhale, and then soften deeper. Releasing all that might be stuck in your body. And then coming to center, the right knee joins the left. We lift our chest, we hug them in. Our left leg straightens out. See your foot, see your thigh expand. Lower yourself down, left hand, outer right knee, drawing it over to the left side. Right arm extends in line with right shoulder. Soften, relax. Turn your gaze and turn your attention into right shoulder blade. Ground that down. Slide your shoulder blades to hips. Open your collarbones and heart. Let your body twist and soften. Notice every time you're zoning out, every time you meander to your coffee you'll have just now or breakfast, and come back, come back. If you want a full life and live life fully, the secret to it is be present with every moment, the exciting ones and the lame ones. And coming back to center, drawing knees up into chest, hugging them in, gently swaying them side to side. Open your knees to armpits. And then bring your feet upwards. Bring your hands to the back knees into happy baby. Circle your ankles, point and flex them. So knees are wide. If you can, grab your feet, you're welcome to. If you can, draw your knees into armpits, you're welcome to. Ground your tailbone and your sacrum consciously into mat. So you're not lifting the butt, but you're grounding it down. If you'd like to take it further, maybe you can straighten out your legs gently. Keep your sacrum on your mat. Just opening the back legs. Notice what that feels like. Bending them again. Straighten them out again. Sounds a lot easier than it is, I acknowledge. Someday our toes might land alongside our ears on the mat. Not today. And bring your knees back together. Beautiful. Bring your feet down onto mat. Grab behind your thighs and with lightness roll yourself up to sit. We'll cross our legs for a moment. We'll rest our hands onto knees and just notice. Notice your body in space. We'll open our eyes again, hands out to the sides, fingers touch the mat. We inhale, rising arms up above our head. Grab the space above you and slide your shoulder blades down. So maybe inhale, grow tall, exhale, and we twist, whichever way you'd like to twist. Twist and let the twist grow from the root of your spine. Twisting, 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 twisting. Hands come down. Slide your shoulder blades down. Lean into yourself. Twisting deeply. Look over back shoulder. If you like, maybe looking over front shoulder. Just exploring your range of movement. Twisting a little deeper. Lift your navel, lift your heart. One more inhale. To expand a little more, exhale to soften. Coming to center, arms up. Inhale to lift tall and exhale to relax the shoulders down. Twist the other way. Build it slowly from your spine, from your tailbone. Twisting, 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 twisting. Hands come down. Beautiful. Lean yourself back into yourself. Slide your shoulder blades down. Let your navel lift, let your heart lift, let your knees drop. Maybe turning gaze to look over front shoulder, back shoulder, twisting. One more inhale here, exhale to deepen. And let's come back to center. Reach our arms out to the sides. Our most proud and spacious selves. Open your heart. Reach your hands backwards so that your collarbones and ribs open even more. Lift your chin gently, so sternum is being stretched into all directions. And then bring your hands down. Bring your hands to opposite elbows. Keep that spaciousness in your chest. Inhale again. And exhale, folding it forwards, maintaining as much of that space as you can as you fold. Sealing in our practice, sealing in this moment. Lift your gaze first and then with a long flat spine come up. Arms out to the sides. We swap our legs, just cross them the other way. Sitting tall. One more time, arms reach back. Tailbone, sit bones, ground, sternum lifts, chin lifts. Feel your ribs, feel your chest, feel your heart center expand. Breathe deeply into that expansiveness. And hands come to opposite elbows. Swap sides. I don't know what that means really. Lengthen tall and exhale, folding forward. Sealing in. Lifting gaze, lifting heart, coming up. Release your elbows, hands onto knees. A good time to put on a layer or two. We come into Shavasana from here. And if there's something else your body might need this moment, on your way to Shavasana, you're welcome to go there and do that. So when you're ready, find your way back down onto the mat. Coming back to where we started. Move down into Shavasana, into your most conscious Shavasana. Feel your spine long and expansive. And really take time, move around. Wherever there's tension, soften it out. Ground your spine in a conscious way. Ground your pelvis in a conscious way. Your shoulder blades. Let your collarbones soften. Let your ribs soften. Close your eyes. Imagine you had another set of eyelids you could close as well. So really turning inwards. Let your brain melt to back skull. Let your eyes move towards earth. Let your cheeks and lips soften, your jaws, down into throat, down into collarbones. Your breath simply doing its thing. You're not controlling your breath. You're witnessing. You're witnessing the subtle flow of breath. You're witnessing these subtle movements, these waves of movement flowing through you. Every time a thought grabs your attention, thank it and come back. Come back to this sense of aliveness in your body. Every time you move into thinking, come back. Come back to feel the points of contact between your body and the mat. Or you might come back to breath or the sensations in your heart. The sensations inside your palms. Find something that really supports you in anchoring your awareness and attention in the present moment, in that which is sensual, not conceptual, but that which is here and now. Keep coming back to breath breathing you and you flowing with breath. For me, anchoring with breath
a very powerful meditation because it reminds me that everything belongs. So if we take breath as a metaphor for life, there's an aspect of becoming and an aspect of ending, of death in each breath. At the same time, there's this aspect of expansion and contraction, which is something we all, I assume, experience in our day-to-day being. There's these moments or days or periods where we feel expansive, powerful, there's a spaciousness. And we usually enjoy that a lot. And sometimes we cling on to it. But there always are also those spaces of contraction, of turning inwards, where things are really challenging, maybe, where we don't feel strong and open and expansive and light, but we might feel dark, we might feel small, empty, insignificant. And when I get stuck in these moments and I come back to breath, it reminds me that it all belongs. There is no inhalation without the exhalation. There is no exhalation without the inhalation. And as I learned to witness my breath with curiosity, I somehow down the line learned to witness my states, my thoughts, my emotions, all that grabs us and makes us feel like this is real. Learn to witness those elements and watch them with the same sense of curiosity and space that you have when you watch your breath. Can you cultivate that sense of openness towards thoughts and emotions without suddenly mistaking those thoughts and emotions for reality? A picture I use is the sky. We have so much beautiful blue sky here in Cape Town, in South Africa, and being identified with our thoughts and emotions is a bit as if this vast, huge, endless blue sky was mistaking itself for being just this one cloud. So our thoughts and states are like weather passing by. And the less we hold on, the less we identify, the quicker those things can pass, the more space there is to remember our spaciousness. Notice what is alive within you right now, this moment. Notice where your attention is. And guide it to breath. And send an invitation to breath to deepen and widen. We start with our breath and move back into this physical body. Move back into movement. Maintaining this sense of curiosity and spaciousness. We have this body, but we are not our body. We have these thoughts, but we are not them. these sensations. We are not those sensations. Stay connected with what's there that holds all of it. Come back to movement. In your own way, find up to seated. Find your sit bones, take your time. Stack yourself up. Keep your eyes closed. Lengthen out. A few breaths to expand through your body as you inhale and soften as you exhale. Crossing your legs, sitting high and tall. Bring your hands together and rub them to warm them up. Make them hot, make them shine, make them glow. Fill them with light and bring them onto heart. Simply feel. See if you can stretch and expand your heart space into hands. Put a smile in your eyes, maybe a smile on your lips. We exhale together, empty ourselves out, letting go of our entire practice, of everything that was up to now. We inhale together to embrace and welcome each new moment. As we exhale, we gently bow, turning our inner gaze to heart, bowing the knowledge of our mind to the wisdom of our hearts. As you open your eyes, bring your hands together. I thank you all deeply for joining today. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.